am Jourdain from the Calm team, and I am back to talk about two structures under the last skill, which is the skill of consequences. And so the skill of consequences isn't last because it's least important, but actually because it uses all of the other skills combined to effectively impose natural consequences. So we're moving away from rewards and punishments because those are external motivators, and instead moving towards natural consequences, which is going to help the internal motivation of our kids to do good and be effective problem solvers. And so consequences are not negative, they are an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to teach new skills. And so one way that we can do this is the first structure of class meetings. So the goal of class meetings is to problem solve as a school family. So a couple things to remember is that class meetings give students the responsibility and ownership over the problem. And that's a really great thing because this is while adults could just solve these problems by creating another rule or routine in the classroom, by allowing students to be a part of this gives them responsibility over the solution and helps them gain the knowledge and skills of problem solving. And we all want to be good problem solvers and raise good problem solvers. And so class meetings are going to vary depending on the age of the child, but they can all follow this acronym of PEACE. And so the acronym stands for problem, encourage, affirm, collect, and evaluate. So P stands for problem. State the problem as you see it and its impact on you. And so here we want to do this in a non-judgmental way, not in an emotional state, but just in a matter of fact, here's the problem that I see and why it's affecting me. So maybe as the teacher, I say something like, I've noticed that we are not listening to our friends when they are using their big voices, and I'm worried because we are not keeping one another safe, and that affects our ability to learn. So next is E, encourage. Encourage the children to own the problem. So then you're going to ask, does this sound familiar? Have we seen examples of when our friends are not using or not listening to others' big voices? And we're not using this time to place blame, but rather to allow the children to see this as a problem in the classroom and take ownership of the problem as well. Next is A, affirm. Affirm the problem, restating it in terms of what you want to happen. So this is the switch from, oh, we are not listening to others' big voices, to instead a more positive of, so the problem is remembering to listen to each other's big voices. So that little switch takes it from a negative of we're not listening to a positive of how can we remember to listen to others' big voices. The next letter is C, collect. So this is whenever you're really going to get your students involved. Collect helpful solutions to solve the problem. Take volunteers and ideas that your students have and help rein them in to come up with a solution to the problem. So this might be a new chant or an agreement, a class agreement to listen to each other's big voices, and maybe a hand signal or something that the students can use to help remind each other to be good listeners. And the last letter is E, evaluate to see if it is working. So then talk with your class about how can we evaluate if we have been listening to each other's big voices, and come up with a way to celebrate their success, or if the problem persists, come back to this class meeting and maybe help come up with a different solution. So while this could definitely be used in a classroom like I've been talking about, this could also be used in a family setting. If you see a persistent problem with your kids at home, you could call a family meeting to solve a problem in the same way. So that is a class meeting and kind of how that structure would be used. And then the second structure goes right along with it, and that is called relationship repair. And so after we have a class meeting that might be a little bit heavy or negative, talking about problems in the classroom, we want to make sure that we repair all of those relationships in the school family. And so a couple reasons behind this is we want to reaffirm that we're all in this together. It's not one person's problem and one person's solution, but rather we're all in this together as a school family to solve the problem. And we also want to commit to working on the plan. And then we want to make sure we repair any relationships within our school family. So this can be a song or a chant or hand motions to just reunite the class and remind them that, hey, we're all in this together. So those are 2 structures under the scale of consequences, and I hope that is helpful in your classrooms and in your homes.